Hi all. So we are here for our next Netdata Office Hours. I'm here with Costa, and we are focusing this episode on sharing what we've been up to on these last couple of weeks. Some of the stuff that we are showing you is going to be kind of a teaser, so it's something we are still working on. And there's other couple of stuff that we already released. So let me start with sharing the presentation, so you can also follow it on your hand. So let me just get the link for it. Just a second. So I'll be sharing it on the chat, so you can open it and follow it at your leisure. So that's the link there. Without further ado, let me share my screen so you can see what we are going to be up to. So the main topics or the main things we are going to share is the work we have started to do on the Windows native collector. So this is going to be a very important thing, and we are actively working on getting this out. Our integration with AWS, so AWS Billing, and a couple of more things. So let me go through the agenda. So introduction is what we said. We'll have the spotlight, an open slot for questions for anybody that's out there that wants to raise any questions, and then some questions and feedback that were raised from the community on these last couple of weeks. So as the spotlight, as I was mentioning, it's the Windows Native Collector, sharing some work we are doing as in context alert actions and improvements. So we started with the alerts, but it's something we want to improve across the Netdata UI, bring more in context actions and in context information. So when you're looking to a chart, you're going to get all about it and what you can do about it. AWS billing integration, then Okta and OpenID single sign-on works. So this is the agenda and the spotlight. So without further ado, I'll pass the word to Costa. So he's going to showcase what we have been doing on the Windows native collector. So Costa, the floor is yours.
Yeah, hello guys. So we call it Windows Native Collector, but it's not a Windows Native Collector. It's actually the full Netdata running in Windows. So guys, what we do is that we are porting the whole of Netdata to Windows. Now this includes, as you understand, all the features. So it's a full-blown Netdata agent, including database, machine learning, alerting, dashboarding, exporting, so the entire thing. So a data agent running on Windows will be able to both be a parent, a child, a standalone agent, but also a parent. Now, the whole deal with it is how to do it. Windows has a completely different API. Thankfully, there are many projects that help us in this transition. So we started with something, of course, we changed the SPR that changes a lot in the code base of Netdata to allow it work, compile, and run on Windows. But then the next deal is, okay, the agent runs, what data do we have? And there it comes to the collector, the specific Windows collector that we need. Now, the good thing with Windows is that there is an abstraction layer, let's say, within Windows, that all the metric providers push metric to it. They call it performance counters or something. This is on the register. It happens through the Windows registry. Now, what we did there is that we created a library that is able to parse any of the data that this library has, that this abstraction layer of Windows has. So this means that we have access to everything that is there. The challenge, of course, is how to make Windows nodes and Linux nodes and FreeBSD nodes and macOS nodes stand together in the dashboard. You understand that this is confusing because some metrics are Linux only, some are Windows only. What we are trying currently is that we are trying to put everything into a common sense. So if you have, for example, network interface traffic, to have exactly the same things on Windows and Linux. If you have whatever page faults, available memory, etc. So we try to come up with a uniform structure of everything. I can show you how this works. So I have here an data agent. Guys, it's premature. We're still developing collectors. So, okay. Now, that's a Windows. I hit a Windows server, a Windows VM. Now, not a lot are here still. So we have system CPU, we have system I/O, we have RAM, etc. Even in the CPUs, we have information per core. You see here 12 cores. We have memory, additional information about the memory, the available memory, etc. For the disks, this is a proof point, one chart for every category currently, just to understand that this works. So the disk I/O is here, the mount points, that is the logical volumes on Windows. So this is the trick part that we try to do. So mount points will have logical disk of Windows and mount points of Linux. Similarly for all the others, we did a lot of work for the networking stack, per protocol, all this information that Linux exposes, network interfaces. So that's the idea. And there is here a Windows plugin that you can actually, these are the modules that we have built so far. You can see their performance, etc. Now, one thing is Windows, having Windows metrics. We are going to finish this work. It's going to take a few days, but we are going to finish this work to put all, provide a uniform experience between Windows and Linux. What is then, there will be some challenge, is to make apps plugin. Apps plugin aggregates stuff and, processes, etc. Also provides the functions of processes. And then is logs, to query the Windows events and have them in logs. So the logs tab here to actually show all the Windows events and query them, etc. One step at a time. I hope that by the end of May, this should be released. Our building, our CI can already, we know that already supports Windows Actions. So this should be relatively easy to build an MSI package. It's not yet a service, so you need to run it from a terminal for the moment, but we're going to make it a Windows service so that when you install the data, then you go to the Windows services and you say run, activate, etc., and it starts at boot, etc. The good thing is that with dynamic configuration that we have, actually we built also database configuration, retention configuration through dynamic configuration. This should be released in the nightlies in the following days. This means that with a dynamic configuration, most likely you will never have to edit configuration files in Windows. Everything will happen through the UI. So that's it. I don't know if people have questions.
I think at the moment on the chat there's nothing coming.
It's premature. It's not final yet. So we're testing it. We are trying to understand what the metrics are there, how we should deal about them with them, etc. But it seems that it is working. We're going to test it, of course, at scale. Put there a parent with a lot of children to see how it behaves. But we expect the same performance. And the data is fast, mainly because it's written in C, and we use very few things from the operating system. So this should be pretty straightforward. And the way this works is that today we rely on some libraries to provide a POSIX environment, a Unix environment, for example, for Netdata on Windows. But we are already in the process of eliminating this. So interfacing component by component, everything natively into Windows. we have started this, but it's usable as it is, I think. So this will happen in time. No questions?
No, seems not. Just sharing, we had already a user asking for alpha access to this. So as Costa said, this is still under development. So we are not yet on a state where we can share, let's say, for users to try it out. But let's say until end of May, we'll hope to have something.
I think it will be released by end of May. The way it progresses, it will be released.
So keep waiting, and we look forward to this. And of course, we'll like your feedback on this once this is out.
Okay.
So thanks, Costa. Let me probably jump to the next topic. So as I was saying, and I can show, of course, this on the UI, this is not yet released. This is something we are gradually working, and we want to start releasing some of this stuff. And we want to bring this integrated experience when you interact with the UI. So so when you're looking to a chart, you already have the information about which alerts are there, which alerts are around the chart. So sorry, Costa.
Sorry, guys.
Bye.
I'm muting. Sorry.
So I was saying we have this add or the edit alerts on the chart. This is going to be an in-context experience, and the same thing for on an alert model. So let me probably just showcase this so you can probably see this by yourself. So if I go to, this is our testing environment. We are doing some usability tests and checking things out. So if I go to one chart where I know there are some alerts configured, in this case, it's the PostgreSQL transaction ratio. So in this chart, we have this, there's 3 instances of this alert created. And if I go to the edit button, what I see automatically is what Costa was saying. We have, this is a warning saying that you're going to edit this alert. When you're editing the alert, at the moment you're on a specific node, but of course you have a feature or capability to send it out to all nodes. And if you have parent and child relationships, if both of them are connected to cloud and you want to have that effective on both, you need to send the alert to both. But yeah, this is just a warning for you to know. So from the chart, I was immediately able to come to the specific alert that we were seeing there on the chart. As it says, it's on the specific node where we are seeing the chart. We will still improve this view to make it more user-friendly, like we had the alert configuration management, but you can see the context where it is targeting, what are the values for the thresholds. I mean, the triggers is the thresholds, and what is the action that happens. And then you will have option to submit the changes to the specific node, or if you want to do like a mass change on multiple nodes, you can use the node names or the host labels or the Netdata version, and you'll be able to simply from the chart immediately be able to change the existing alert. And also, if we go to the chart where we were looking at, so let me go back to the metrics tab. I'm now going to a different chart. So if I go here, there's no alert there. I can immediately create an alert. So it already populates this with the specific context. So from the chart it came through. And then, of course, you need to add the rest of the parameters to finish the configuration. So in context from the charts to create and then manage your alerts. And as I mentioned, if I go to the alerts tab itself, and I go to one of these alert models or the view alert page, you also have an edit option. So when you see an active alert and you want to adjust thresholds or adjust something, you can immediately go to edit alert, same warning, but you can then, of course, say you don't want to see this again. So this is a thing we are trying to bring more into Netdata, this kind of context view. In future, even adding a job on one of collector like HTTP check, you should be able to do it from the chart, from the UI, without needing to go to the, in this case, go to the nodes, you go to the configuration of the node, and then activate the collection job and all that stuff. So we should be able to, we should provide you means to do everything in context directly from the place where you see the information. So stay tuned, and this is something we're trying to improve and to bring. Besides the alerts, all the two first things, as we said, are still teasers. It's still things we are working on, still things we are trying to improve, and hopefully soon get into your hands. Now I'm going to speak about 2 things that we already released. So one of them is the AWS Billing integration. So if you want to add your monitoring bill to your infrastructure, one, in AWS in this case. Of course, we'll look into integrating with other cloud provider marketplaces. You can, instead of using our in-app build subscriptions where you use Stripe to manage that, you can use your AWS cloud account and immediately go for a pay-as-you-go, what we call our monthly subscription, or a Netdata Cloud annual contract, which is our annual subscription. So you can do this from AWS Marketplace immediately on your account and start getting a subscription from Netdata integrated with your infrastructure bill. So no need for extra budget approvals or billing complexities. You get everything integrated for you. And probably the next thing that we kind of released, it was announced today. This was already in beta for some time, but today it was released. We started building our single sign-on business level or enterprise level integrations. We started with Okta as the first one, and we decided to build also an open IDE where if you build your custom authentication server, you can build yourself this. We give you also some tips how to do it. You can already manage the access to Netdata Cloud account using this kind of application. So we streamline basically the way you control how your team access Netdata Cloud. If you go to our cloud authentication integrations, you're going to be able to see the Okta and OpenID and see the details of how you can set up each one of these. So single sign-on is our first step. We are now looking into bringing the related Active Directory or the management of users and roles. It's the next step we want to do. So this is the initial step, and this is already available on paid plans, let's say. So just making a brief pause to see if there's any question, any comment so far of what we shared. Looking to the chat, it's very quiet, so I don't think there's nothing. So probably then I'll move to the next one. So some questions and feedback that were raised by the community. So one question was about the OpenSense package being updated. So this package is not maintained by Netdata, it's maintained by OpenSense, and they do it based on the FreeBSD package. So usually as soon as the FreeBSD is up to date, the OpenSense team follows up and does the update. If users want this before these actions happen, they can remove the Netdata OpenSense plugin and then try to build Netdata from source if they don't want to wait for these things. The next one is about missing plugins on installation. So there was a bug that is documented here, and the fix also already here. So users were installing the Netdata agent from Kickstart script, but were having a hard time to get some of the plugins to work. So there were some missing dependencies that were not installed, and this is something that is reported, and we are working on a fix to make sure you don't experience this. So this was on the nightly 145.0326. And another one was about the Ubuntu 24.04 support. So this Ubuntu version was released in the end of April, 25th of April, and it's not yet available on our Netdata repo. So we did the release of the nightly builds. So the nightly builds are already available on that repo, and we are planning to do a patch release to launch a new stable version. And once that is done, the stable versions will also be available on this repo. So you'll be able to install the latest version on these operating systems. And I think that those were the major things or the major questions. So if there's nothing up, this was a kind of a quick office hours. But hopefully the work we announced and the work we shared was relevant for you. And if you have any suggestion or any feedback for the office hours, even if you want to participate on the user panel discussions, feel free to ping us at product@netdata.cloud or jump on our Discord server. And we'll gladly hear your inputs and would like to have you on stage for this session. So if there's nothing else, I'll wrap up the session here and see you on the next one. Bye.